In early 2014, I visited the Duwamish Longhouse, south of downtown Seattle. I was graciously welcomed by descendants of Chief Seattle and his brother and Princess Angeline. I met Tribal Chair Cecile Hansen, Tribal Councilman Ken Workman, and Nancy Sackman. I was delighted to see the museum and Longhouse thriving and to learn of its many community contributions as a cultural and educational center. But one of their museum display cases had missing artifacts. The signage was there, but the artifacts were missing. The artifacts had been found right across the street on the Duwamish Waterway. Once indigenous land, its last original shoreline was purchased in the early 1960s by the Port of Seattle. Due to changing environmental standards, however, the port was not allowed to build a planned shipping terminal. As the port cleared the land, it found the Duwamish No. 1 archaeological site and artifacts related to its use as a campsite before 900 AD, and the site of a winter longhouse dating from 1100 AD to the 1700s. Now it's a park with interpretive signage about the land's long history. Here's a sign showing several of the very artifacts that are missing from the museum case across the street. In late 2013, I took a boat trip up the Duwamish with the Duwamish River Cleanup Coalition, and I listened to James Rasmussen sing a native song. I didn't know the Lushootseed words, but understood lament and mourning for lands and seas that the tribe once inhabited and where the tribe sustained itself with their fruits. This inspired me to learn more. Pollution from industry has rendered the waterway an Environmental Protection Agency Superfund site. Cleanup has been ongoing since 2001 with no end in sight. Small landscape parks have sprung up, but this sign with a windowless building backdrop suggests that wildlife habitat won't be returning soon. Other signs in several languages are posted to warn against eating most fish from the river. So what happened to the missing artifacts? Where are they? I wondered. Turns out the artifacts were regarded as property of the Port of Seattle because they were found on Port of Seattle land. The port contracted with the Burke Museum at the University of Washington to house the artifacts, and then the Burke Museum in 2008 loaned the artifacts to the Duwamish Museum. But in July of 2013, 8 artifacts were removed from the Duwamish Longhouse and reportedly deposited at the Suquamish and Muckleshoot tribes' repositories. You see, both the Suquamish and Muckleshoot tribes are federally recognized tribes, but the Duwamish tribe is not. Even though Clinton set the stage for federal recognition at the end of his administration, George W. Bush stopped the process when he took office in 2001. In March of 2013, a federal 9th U.S. District Court judge sent the Duwamish petition back to the Bureau of Indian Affairs for further consideration. But actually, by law, federal recognition isn't necessary for a tribe to hold its own artifacts. At the end of this film, see a link to the regulations. Nonetheless, this seemingly is the reasoning for why artifacts are now apparently at the Suquamish and Muckleshoot tribe preservation departments in Port Madison and Auburn, Washington. I can no longer view those artifacts in the Duwamish Longhouse Museum, a museum open to the public, free of charge, where you can look out the window and see the site across the street on the banks of the Duwamish River where the artifacts were found. The artifacts are no longer easily accessible to grade school children or to graduate students or to the general public as they were in the Duwamish Museum. Now, a lengthy application process is required to gain access. Lack of federal recognition of many urban indigenous tribes has had an ongoing and very negative effect on their welfare. injustices continue. Recognized tribes have resources from gaming and subsequent diversification, so they can lobby our elected officials not to encourage federal recognition of yet unrecognized tribes. Elected officials may claim to see this inequity, but then do little to remedy it. Reverberations of centuries-old injustices continue to this day and continue to be felt and experienced by today's Native population. What can you do? The Bureau of Indian Affairs is currently reconsidering federal recognition of the Duwamish tribe. If you feel so inclined, write your federal representatives, write the President, and write the Bureau of Indian Affairs to voice your support of federal recognition for the Duwamish tribe. The Duwamish tribe welcomed me openly and respectfully in keeping with the Longhouse's mission as a cultural and educational center, and in a spirit of generously honoring those of us who now live on their ancestral lands.